Many years ago, conversation was basically a way to grunt at each other what we wanted, though I still know people who do that today. Most of us communicate through 1,000 different technologies, with incomplete sentences, short words which are shortened even further, and about a bajillion made-up words. Now, I don't want to offend you, English teachers, but we believe that the English language is silly. Now, before you start deciding to pile essays on us for revenge, we are not saying that books and poems should be wiped out. We are just saying that the spelling and pronunciation of words are quite complex and make English much less fun than English teachers always tell us that it is. For the younger generation, I understand the need to shorten your words. I mean, it is sometimes very difficult to say "oh my god" instead of "OMG", which, by the way, is the same number of syllables. And it is excruciatingly painful to just laugh instead of saying "LOL".
To give an example, imagine you meet your friend at school. What do you say? Definitely not "good day" like the people living 100 years ago, when speech only existed to compliment and please. Now it seems like people have no hesitation in throwing in a couple of words or two that might not be so nice. Why can't we return to the age of politeness and refinement? So returning to the previous question, what do you say when you come to school in the morning? Maybe hi, or morning, or maybe even soft. What happened to what's up? What's with this unrequited search for ultimate simplicity by contracting everything you say in 1,000 different ways? When on MSN, people compose messages incomprehensible to others, as if teens are writing in a foreign language of their own. Have you ever looked back? Have you ever looked back at those emails you sent years ago when you were in year 5 and 6 and fresh into the habit of making contractions? I have. I have even realized that some of the words I tried to contract ended up being harder to type than the normal word. I also used to write the first letter of words in my diary, so instead of writing "I had a great day," I would have written IHAGD, and now I have absolutely no idea what I was saying, and it looks like my English as a child was atrocious. Nowadays, our mind revolves around these things. Technology has progressed so much that our mentality has pretty much stayed the same. We're still caught up in our own little world, and our language has certainly declined in terms of quality into a style of primitive gibberish of our own. The English language is filled with words that seem to have their own little special rules. For example, through, though, and trust all end in the same letters, and yet they are pronounced completely differently. Now, if these words are spelled differently or pronounced at least more similarly, wouldn't it be easier for children and foreigners to learn English?
Now, for all of you who have parents who came from a different country, you may be able to appreciate how difficult it would be to learn a completely new language. For example, glockenspiels are those words-for-wear instruments in our music department, but a German person in Australia would almost certainly expect it to be housed in a tower and over 100 tons in weight. To come to a new country is difficult enough, but to have to learn a new language that has several meanings and pronunciations for one word, well, that must be plain annoying.
But it's not just foreigners who have it tough. Even for those of us for which English should just be a walk in the park, can be constantly pulled back by the dazzling inconsistencies in our language. Take a classic example, the differences between American and British English. You'd think a little regional variation is expected, but I don't understand why they call jam jelly. It seems utterly unnecessary and definitely confusing for tourists. If you walked into a deli in the US and asked for a jam sandwich, you definitely wouldn't want bread piled high with gooey, molten, disgusting jelly. And even changing your profession can result in you having to learn a whole new strand of English. For example, many people aspire to be a reporter or a journalist. You know, going out and being in the middle of things, appearing pretty well. But what if you had to learn vocabulary again? In fact, this is the truth. Have you ever thought about how news reports seem very simple and formal, but you can always understand them? That's because reporters only have a limited word bank that they can use, along with the rare keyword or two. In addition, their style is different to normal speech. This, of course, only adds to confusion.
But imagine a language where everything is clear and simple. What you say is what you get. There are no extreme differences between the languages spoken by Americans and British, and definitely none of this special English the type reporters use, C-speak or air-speak or anything like that. Just good old English, clear, simple, understandable. Now, English, of course, is very close to all of our hearts. And I know that all of you have dreams about spelling, pronunciation, and grammar every single day. But we think that English may need a change. Since it is quite difficult to invent a whole new language in a couple of weeks, we don't really have an alternative right now. But if anyone is up for a challenge, there were some tips for a new language. And if English does change, we could all sit on the ground with our legs crossed to learn the new grammar rules, and we may even get our nap times back. Thank you.